evening, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Schwa Mill, where every single Saturday at this time we help you craft your accent, help you achieve a more natural sound in American English pronunciation. I am your host for our show. As always, my name is Jeff. It rhymes with breath, which is one of the key ingredients, the four keys to a natural American accent, in addition to placement, pitch, and trying to weaken your consonant sounds, trying to strengthen your vowels. These are all things and more that we're going to be looking at in your own pronunciation. And that's right, it's your pronunciation because you send us pronunciation files and we take a look at them. And if you've never sent us a pronunciation file before, then let me show you what the process looks like. Give me a second to share my screen with you. And these steps are the same steps that we use every single week. So whether you're watching us for the first time, for the 100th time, however many times you've seen us, the steps are always going to be the same. I also want to give a quick shout out to Edward, who is here, and also Shok is in the house as well. And if you're watching us, I know some other people are here too, but they haven't said hello yet. Oh my gosh. Say hello to me, because I would love to say hello to you. But this is the website that we're going to be using, vocaroo.com. And basically on vocaroo.com, what you'll need to do is you're going to see that big fat red record button. Let's make it bigger. There it is. Okay, you're going to click that. It is then going to start recording your voice. You're going to click that pause button. You'll see the option to save and share. And then you get a link. You take this link. What do you do with the link, though? What do you do with it? Well, we have a document, Google Doc, where you can actually input your files. You can see some people have already done that. So if you want me to listen to your files, take a look at our video description. You can also, I'll put it in the chat as well. So you can go there in case you want me to listen to your file. In fact, some people, I put it in the wrong spot. Totally put it in the wrong spot. Give me a sec. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, we would love to get your files. We're going to be taking a look at all these files here momentarily, which is very, very exciting. See a couple new names, see some regulars, which is great. Trying to think, are there any housekeeping things for this upcoming week to be aware of? Some general things. Nothing too crazy and new, but some general things. If you go to our website, fluentamerican.com, I have something for you. I have a gift for you. We have our four-step American accent course. This is our foundational course. It goes through, placement, breath, in addition to pitch, and as well as trying to weaken consonant sounds. It's walking you through all of the key components that really kind of separate us from all the other pronunciation resources you can find online. This course is completely free. All we need is your email address to send it to. You'll be signed up for a newsletter, which we send out about 2 or 3 times a month. So you can get that for free if you're looking for exercises and things like that. In addition to that, once you explore that, you may be like, I need to study some other things. Maybe I need to work on my pitch. So we have a pitch course that will walk you through 9 of the most common patterns that native speakers use. You're not even aware of these patterns, but native speakers are using them all the time. So they'll give you 9 of the most frequent ones. And then we also have our Accent Dash program, which is just 2-minute workout videos that you can use throughout the week. There's actually 14 different videos, so it gives you 2 weeks worth of content that you can use for practice and repetition. So all that and more is available at fluentamerican.com. And if you have questions about any of those offerings, you can let me know too. We'll talk about some other services in a bit. You guys can let me know if you have questions about anything. But beyond that, let's start getting into people's files. What say ye? Let's go. Oh, let me add myself there, right? Again, it's not Lido, it's more little.
The G host was class.
Are you feeling that here, or here? All right, so now we're gonna jump into files. Let's load back up our Google documents. Let's have some fun. Give that a second to load. And bam, we here. I'm gonna take a second to appear. I'm gonna move myself up here. Hi. Hey. All right, so let's I don't have a specific order for these. This is my example. Starting off, slightly longer file, 13-second file. Let's see what they got.
I don't communicate in English in real life, so this is from a movie scene. I quote, "If you receive this lovely little box, your name will pop up. I promise. Now, why would a dead girl lie?"
Okay, thank you for sending that file. I'm gonna put the text in, but before I do that, actually, listen to this one more time. See if you can understand it. Okay.
I don't communicate in English in real life, so this is from a movie scene. I quote, "If you receive this lovely little box, your name will pop up. I promise. Now, why would a dead girl lie?"
Okay, that's gonna sending us. I'm gonna put in the words here, and there are some little comments already that I have in mind I want to discuss. Take a listen to this again.
I don't communicate in English in real life, so this is from a movie scene.
Okay, so one of the very first things I'm going to tell you is that even just based on that, there were some audio issues with the very first part. But what I can tell you is that I think our pitch patterns tend to sound a little bit flat. We kind of are repeating the same pattern over and over again.
I don't communicate in English in real life, so this is from a movie scene.
I don't communicate in English in real life, so this is from a movie scene. So it's like movie scene maybe went down a little bit lower, but the problem is that everything is it is like if everything I say kind of just varied between these like pitches right here, not a lot of variation, right? This is happening for a couple of reasons. One, our pitch range isn't enough, but two, we have a lot of stressed words, and when you have a lot of stressed words, it causes you to kind of restart very easily. So we want to try to cut out some of those.
I don't communicate in English in real life, so this is from a movie scene. I quote,
The section that sounded the most natural was, so this is from a movie scene. That's the part that sounded most natural. It's also the part that had the fewest stresses. Beyond that part, I would say each section had maybe 2 or 3 words per thought group, and that's not very many.
I don't communicate in English in
It's like I don't, stressing don't, communicate in English, stressing English.
real life, so
In real life, stress on life.
this is from
So is also. I don't communicate in English in real life, so that's a lot of stresses. If you wanted to cut down some of those stresses, what it could end up sounding like would be something more like this. I don't communicate in English in real life. I don't communicate in English in real life. So now I'm just kind of stressing real. I don't communicate in English in real life. I don't communicate. You could also stress communicate if you want. I don't or maybe English would be better. Like I don't communicate in English in real life. I don't communicate in English in real life. Something like that. So, just trying to expand your thought groups a little bit is going to help give you a more natural rhythm. So you're not stressing too often. Otherwise, it's going to sound too flat. Hello also to Melissa Head. Good to see you. Thank you for being with us today. Feel free to send us a file if you're interested. You can look earlier in the stream and talk about the instructions. We also have the document for sending files in the chat. Beyond that,
real life, so this is from a movie scene.
So this is from a movie scene. I would treat movie scene as a compound noun. It's 2 words that come together to make a single thing. Right now, you're stressing scene from a movie scene. Movie scene. I would maybe stress movie. This is from a movie scene. So this is from a movie scene. This is from a movie scene. Do you hear how moo had the highest pitch, then it dropped V, then it dropped more scene. Movie scene. This is from a movie scene. So that's another thing that I think would help there. But the main part is going to be if we receive this lovely little box part. So let's take a listen to that. Okay. Must be letting us know that they're watching from Bangladesh. Great. Cool. We are coming to you live from the United States.
So this is from a movie scene. I quote, "If you receive this lovely little box, your name will pop up. I promise. Now, why would a dead girl lie?"
Okay. Some things here.
If you receive this lovely little box,
If you receive this lovely little box, I want to pay attention a little bit to the little.
if you receive this lovely little box,
Little box. So one concept I think is going to be really helpful is a concept called a dark L. Okay, you can let me know if you've heard of it or not. But a dark L sound is basically instead of doing like a where the tip of your tongue makes contact up here, kind of by your top front tooth, it's actually going to stay relatively lower. And the sound is not like L, it's going to be more And this is going to be very common when an L appears at the end of a word or in the middle of a word. It's like little, little. Can you hear the difference between little and little? So that second one, I'm using a dark L sound, and that's going to help smooth things out. So like lovely little box, lovely little box. The reality is for that phrase there, lovely little box, that's with the tip of my tongue pressed against my bottom front tooth the entire time. Lovely little box. And by having that lower tongue position, it's going to allow air to really flow. Lovely little box. If I had my tongue against the top of my mouth, it would sound more like lovely little box, lovely little box. One of the things you might notice there is that the L's become a little stronger and it starts blocking a lot more air. And that's basically against what American English is trying to do. American English wants air to really be moving as unobstructedly as possible. So, lovely little box. Besides that,
If you receive this lovely little box,
if you receive this lovely little box, I would also continue playing around with pitches. Okay, so you have two thought groups in this part. If you receive this, that's your first thought group. If you receive this, and then you have your second thought group, lovely little box. So, what happens very commonly in English is that when you have a switch from one thought group to the next, the pitch level changes. So right now you're kind of starting high. If you receive this, so then for my next thought group, maybe I'll go lower. Lovely little box. If you receive this lovely little box, if you receive this lovely little box, do you hear how the pitch kind of changes? If the pitch doesn't change, it becomes, if you receive this lovely little box, like it just, the words kind of run together, it becomes flatter and it's harder to understand the words I'm saying. So we need to add contrast. One way to do that is by lowering the pitch on the lovely little box part. If you receive this lovely little box, so every time you switch the thought group, just change the pitch a little bit.
if you receive this lovely little box, your name will pop up.
Your name will pop up. Your name will pop up. Your name will pop up. Versus your name will pop up. Your name will pop up. Your name will pop up. A lot of times with phrasal verbs, the stress falls on the particle or the preposition. So, for instance, like up, pop up. Your name will pop up. Your name will pop up. But that's a general guideline. It's not a set rule. I'm okay if you stress pop in this case. Your name will pop up.
The little box, your name will pop up.
But I don't know if this part, the stress, would actually be on your verb. I think it's actually going to be more likely on the noun. So I would actually probably put the stress here on name. Your name will pop up. If you receive this lovely little box, your name will pop up. So I would probably switch the stress there.
Little box, your name will pop up.
The other thing I would say is that when you're saying pop up, your vowels are really fast, like pop up, pop up. American English is very interested in vowel sounds. We want to try to extend your vowels so that way it's not so close. It's not pop up, that's a little too fast. Pop up, pop up. It's really all about that pop up.
I promise. Now, why would a dead girl lie?
I promise. Now, progressing from the one thought group, I promise, and then going to the now, it moves a little fast. So I would maybe have a little pause or something like that, or greater contrast in pitch.
Your name will pop up. I promise. Now, why?
I promise now versus I promise. Your name will pop up. I promise now. So notice what I'm doing there. I'm lowering the pitch on now, right? To again add more contrast. Your name will pop up now. And then the last part.
Pop up. I promise. Now, why would a dead girl lie?
Now, why would a dead girl? So I like that part there. You're at. This is probably the part that had the most contrast with your pitches.
I promise. Now, why would a dead girl lie?
So you hear that pattern like, now why would a dead girl lie? Now why would a dead girl lie? Good. I like that movement a lot. It's a new thought group, so you start a little higher. Promise. Now why? Promise. Now why would a dead, so that why is your new thought group. Is starting at a higher pitch, and then your stress is on lie, so the pitch is going to go up. Why would a dead girl lie? That's out of the entire sentences you said here. This is the part that I think sounds the most natural. I like that part a lot. I'll play it one more time. Just see if anything else stands out. If I were going to read this, I would say it as, I don't communicate in English in real life, so this is from a movie scene. I quote, If you receive this lovely little box, your name will pop up. I promise. Now, why would a dead girl lie?
I don't communicate in English in real life, so this is from a movie scene. I quote, "If you receive this lovely little box, your name will pop up. I promise." Now, why would a dead girl lie?
Yeah, I think kind of highlighted all the things that stood out to me. Thank you so much for sending us a file. I don't know if this was your first time or not, but we appreciate it. Hope to hear from you again in a future stream. Lots of good stuff there. Good stuff there, guys. Hope you're learning something. If you are already learning things, you can let me know by liking the stream. Super, super helpful from my end. All right, let's mix it up a little bit. Who is bam, bam. I like this perspective. Oh my gosh, I'm so big. Look at me. Look at me. All right, let's take a look at another file. Oh, we got a quick one. 4-second file. We'll take a. Actually, I think I can do this one first. Let's see.
The photographer takes good photographs.
All right, enough said. Thanks to Marcos for sending that. Okay. No text. Okay. So the photographer takes good photographs. Notice the difference in sound between photographer and photographs. Photographer, photographs. What was this one, right? It's a short file.
The photographer takes good photographs.
Okay. Photographer takes photographs.
The photographer.
Photog. One thing I will say is that our vowel sounds are a little bit closed off. I do think we get a little bit more air passing through. It's like photo versus fata. Notice that the second syllables your ah sound like in stop or hot.
The photographer takes good photographs.
The photographer. You could probably even go lower in pitch on your It's like photographer. Do you hear how each pitch goes down? Photographer takes. Photographer takes.
The photographer takes good photographs.
Again, we're also closed off on the word good. Can you say good for me? Good, good. Notice that my lips are a little open, slightly stretching this way. The sound is like It's like good, good. Make sure you're not rounding your lips. It's not goo goo. It's good, good. Photographer takes good.
The photographer takes good photographs.
See that takes good versus takes good. Just give more space to your vowel sounds. We saw this with photographer a little bit. We're seeing here with the word good as well.
Takes good photographs.
Photographs. We're also seeing that with that O sound on photographs. So it's not photographs. It's more photographs. So the O sounds. Photographer takes good photographs. I would really recommend taking off the consonant sounds and just doing the vowels a couple times. A, o, o, a. A. Photographer takes good photographs. And as you do that exercise, it doesn't have to be perfect. Okay. The goal, though, is to just understand, okay, these are my vowel sounds. These are the sounds that need to be strong enough. So then when I add the consonants back in, I'm not closing off. It's like, the photographer takes good photographs. Because if I do, the photographer takes good photograph. Well, now what I've done is I made my consonant sounds very strong, and that's naturally a very different sound. So that's the very first thing I'm going to say is I'm just trying to get more air through on your vowel sounds.
The photographer takes good photographs.
I like the general pitch movement. The photographer, again, you could go a little lower on the on photographer, but then you have takes good, and then you go up in pitch. Photographs, takes good photographs. That's probably the best sequence right there. I really like that. Takes good photographs, takes good photographs.
Takes good photographs.
Mm-hmm. One last thing, I want to hear photographs at the end.
Good photographs.
I feel like I'm hearing almost like photographs versus photographs. So make sure you're doing an F sound that links with an S, like graphs, graphs. Almost sounds like graphs versus graphs. So just trying to soften that F sound a little bit. Thank you to Marcos for sending that file. Hopefully everything there made sense. A few questions for me, be sure to let me know, but we appreciate it. Making good time so far, guys. And if you have questions too, you can let me know. And again, if you want to help me out as I take a quick water break, you can do this for me. Like what you're hearing, let us know by liking and subscribing. Okay, what do I see? I see a 10-second file, 7-second file, a 4-second, another 4-second file. All right, let's get this longer one out of the way. What say you guys?
Be interesting to see the migratory ones, the males, and some of the ones who are staying here, like if you want to have females who are mature and ready to produce, for example.
Okay, I think it's a Shok. Shok's interested in this file. We have some ideas on things that I would tell you. But in the meantime, let's play that again.
Be interesting to see the migratory ones, the males, and some of the ones who are staying here, like if you want to have females who are mature and ready to produce, for example.
Okay.
Be interesting to see.
So my comments for this one are actually going to be very similar to what I had for our previous file, or I think our first file. I think the last one too. I think a lot of our vowel sounds a little bit closed off, and our contrast is missing. We're using like the same kind of pitch range throughout this, which is causing words to link together a lot and kind of be hard to know where does one word stop, where does one word start. And if your listener can't detect that, then obviously it's going to be very difficult for them to understand you.
Be interesting to see the migratory.
It'd be interesting to see. It'd be interesting to see. And it'd be interesting to see. Maybe take interesting a little higher in pitch and see a little bit lower. Now, if you're shadowing, just to know, if you're shadowing this and you're taking this from speech from someone else, it could very well be that the things I want to tell you are different than what they actually heard. There's a million ways to do this. But the big takeaway, though, is if I think you listen to your original file, if you're shadowing, I think that you're going to see that they're using a wider range of pitches than what you're using.
Be interesting to see the migratory ones,
Be interesting to see if the migratory ones. So it could be interesting to see if the migratory ones. You see how I'm introducing a wider range of pitches now, so it's a little easier to understand. It'd be interesting to see if the migratory ones. It'd be interesting to see if the migratory ones.
Be interesting to see the migratory ones, the males.
I'm guessing it should be migratory ones with the S at the end.
Be interesting to see the migratory ones. Be interesting to see the. Be interesting to see the.
Be interesting. I do think that for interesting, you could get a little bit more short on that first syllable. So instead of eating and more in. It'd be interesting. It'll be interesting.
Migratory ones, the males, and some of the ones.
Are the males, and I do like your sound, how you're going down there. Okay. Quick note, I do see a question. Edward. How do you link scientists tag? Scientists tag. They asked, do you drop the S to scientists like the last S? Scientists tag. No, I don't. You can't really drop that last S when you're saying scientists tag. Sometimes the T might get softened a lot, but if you're going for the pure cluster, it'll be like a there's that little break where the T is, and then it starts again with the S. Scientists, things like that. Just know, Edward, I hope that answers your question.
Be interesting to see the migratory ones, the males, and
the migratory ones. I would try to go lower pitch on ones.
The males, and see the migratory ones, the
migratory ones. The pitches are too similar. You want to go down in pitch on ones. Migratory ones. So it's the migratory ones.
Males, and some of the ones who are staying here, like if you want to have females.
Okay, that part got a little lost on.
The one who are staying here, like if you want to have females.
Again, I'm getting lost.
And some of the ones who are staying here, like.
Some of the ones who are staying here, some of the ones who are staying here. Again, the pitches are so similar that I'm losing track of the words. I really needed the text there for a minute. So how can we help that?
And some of the ones who are staying here.
And some of the ones, and so you said, and
some of the ones who are staying.
And as soon as you get to that and
the males
and so then when we get to that new thought group, go up. It's going to help add contrast. And some of the ones who are staying here.
Some of the ones who are staying here, like.
Some of the ones who are staying here. So you're stressing staying. I'm wondering if the stress is actually on some. And some of the ones who are staying here.
If you want to have females. here, like everyone else, and some of the ones who are staying here, like everyone.
And some of the ones who are staying here. And some of the ones who are staying here. So if you do want to stress staying, you can do that if you have that sort of pattern. And some going high in pitch of the ones, then you want to go down more, who are staying here. Some, just see the level here. Some, then we're going down. Of the ones, then we're going down. Who are, then we're going up. Staying here. Okay, and some of the ones who are staying here, that would make that part so much easier to understand.
Some of the ones who are staying here, like everyone are females.
Juvenile, make sure you're getting that just sound clear enough at the first, because I'm kind of not hearing it. Juvenile females. Some of the who are staying here, like juvenile females.
Here, like everyone are females.
Like juvenile females. Maybe a little more rising intonation too at the end. Females. Females. Do you hear that intonation shift? Alls. Females. Juvenile females.
Like everyone are females who are mature and ready to produce, for example.
Who are not quite mature. Who are not quite mature. I think that's probably the pattern you're going to hear. Who are not quite do you hear it goes down, 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 down. Who are not quite mature, and then it's going to go up on sure. Who are not quite mature and ready to reproduce yet. So it's the same pattern there. And ready to reproduce yet, and ready to reproduce yet.
Mature and ready to produce, for example.
Ready to reproduce. I would also try for ready to reproduce. Try to get your vowel sounds clear. Again, this could be a phrase. You could do this entire phrase with your tongue down if you want. Ready to reproduce. That's with my tongue down against the bottom of my mouth. Ready to reproduce. Ready to reproduce. Ready to reproduce.
Mature and ready to produce, for example.
I'd also say your fast D sounds. It's like ready, ready. So it's a red D, more ready, ready. Reproduce. So instead of reproduce, reproduce. Instead, by having the tongue down, it can soften that D. It's like reproduce, reproduce, reproduce.
Example, mature and ready to produce, for example.
For example, we talked about the dark L earlier, so you can go earlier in the stream for our first file. But again, try to use more dark L for that final all sound example, for example. Okay, lots of notes there for Shok. If you have any questions about anything I said, please let me know. But thank you so much for sending that file. We appreciate you as always. Dum, 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 dum. We had a couple questions come in. Question. Well, American, what's the difference between I feel bad for you and I feel sorry for you? Yeah, it's similar, but not exactly the same. Like, sorry, I think implies more empathy and pity. Feel bad for you just means that, like, you're acknowledging the situation they're in, the other person in, isn't good. Like, oh, I feel bad for you, man. I think in some ways that feels less sympathetic. So I feel bad for you. Depending on context. Context is always going to be the determining factor. Whereas I feel sorry for you. I mean, even I feel sorry for you can also be used in a negative way too. You know, because depending on how you say these things, how genuine is it? Do you actually feel bad for them? Do you actually feel sorry? Or are you just saying that to be polite? Or maybe you're saying that to be ironic or sarcastic. Maybe you don't actually feel that way. So a lot depends on context. So yeah, similar meanings, but I think more than anything, I think context is the bigger factor than the specific word. Question as well. Can migratory? That to me, with that sort of reduction. No, that sort of reduction to me does not feel common in American English, in my opinion. I would always say migratory. I would always have the Tory, personally. Hello to Zabeta in the house. Good to see you. And Shok says we're welcome. Appreciate that. Guys, if you're already finding this helpful, I do have some good news for you. We have a program called Mission English. Mission English, you can find our website, fluentamerican.com. Mission English is basically where we meet every single day of the week, Monday through Friday, in a small group class. Like, I'm here, you're like underneath me, or like right here, and maybe 2 other students maximum. Usually it's less than that. This week it was usually 1 or 2 students in class. Sometimes it's like 4. And what we do, we meet in a small group setting, and we do pronunciation exercise together. And we're targeting things like placement, breath, pitch, vowel sounds, all the things we do here. All of our classes are saved. In fact, we just passed our 300th episode of Mission English. So that means that if you sign up for Mission English today, not only can you start taking part in our program for our classes, but you also get access to 300 already finished classes that you can watch again and again and practice things with us. All the classes are saved in the private Facebook group. Okay. You don't need to be on camera. All you need is a microphone. Okay. And in general, people are saying very, very kind things about the program. Really enjoying it. This is our current schedule. So you can see we actually did something today. I did a writing session today this morning. We were taking a look at hooks, how to write introductions, how to write hooks for essays, for reports, even for a degree for emails and things like that. So we were talking about that today. We'll be doing that again tomorrow. Another writing session at 8:30 in the morning. I was also an IELTS examiner for the writing test, so we can do your IELTS essays and things like that. But once Monday begins, we get back to the grind. So we meet at either 1:30 p.m. New York time. We do that Mondays. We do that on Tuesdays, and we do that on Fridays. We meet at 8 o'clock p.m. We do that on Mondays. We do that on Wednesdays. And we do that on Thursdays. And we also meet at 9:30 a.m. These are all New York times. We do that on Tuesday, on Wednesday, and on Friday. So lots of different opportunities to work with us. And the best part is that currently, for the classes, where is it? Currently $30 for the month. You pay one price for the month, and you get access to all of those classes. You get access to all the classes. You get access to all the past classes and all the classes for the month. So that's at most it's 40 classes a month. We guarantee at least 30. So you're paying like $1 a class. So that's something to consider if you're trying to get this sort of analysis for yourself every single day of the week. This is your opportunity. What more is there to say? You can go fluentamerican.com. I see 2 original files. I do need to share my audio again. All right, back at it once more. We got a 7-second file here.
So what is the purpose of having all that money if you don't have the time to spend it? That's a question that every one of us should be asking themselves.
Okay. I'm going to stick more in this file. Let's find the wrong spot. Okay, let's take a listen to this one more time. Get an idea what you think I'm going to say to them.
So what is the purpose of having all that money if you don't have the time to spend it? That's a question that every one of us should be asking themselves.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Just a quick grammar note. That last word probably should be ourselves. Every one of us, because of the us, every one of us should be asking ourselves this. I think you're using a wider range of pitches than normal Sycamore, which is great.
So what is the purpose of having all that money if you don't?
So what is the purpose of having? I do think you could increase the range there a little bit more. So what is the purpose of having all that money? So notice I went higher in the first part, right? So what is the purpose of having all that money? Or I could go lower. So what is the purpose of having all that money? So what is the purpose of having all that money? Or another way I could do it, I could start high and go down. So what is the purpose of having all that money? So just kind of playing around with the pitch range, because right now you're kind of using the same pitch.
So what is the purpose of having all that money if you don't have the time to spend it?
That's the part where you start to go down more in pitch, which is good. If you don't have the time to spend it. If you don't have the time to spend it.
You don't have the time to spend it.
Spend it. To spend it. I would also say on spend it, you go lower in pitch on it. It's like spend it. Spend it.
That's a question that I don't have the time to spend it.
If you don't have time to spend it. You don't have time to spend it. You don't even have to go as high in pitch on spend.
Time to spend it.
I said time to spend, more time to spend it. Time to spend it.
That's a question that every one of us should be asking themselves.
A couple of vowel things here.
That's a question that...
That's a quish versus question. question. Since a quiz, more question. Trying to lower the placement on that S sound. This is the S sound, like in words like best or get. In fact, a lot of letters actually start with this sound. Like, for instance, can you say like F, X, F, L, M? You can hear that all those have that sound. So just continue to watch out for that.
If you don't have the time to spend it. That's a question that every one of us should be asking themselves.
Then the other thing is going to be that schwa sound on us. Every one of us. That every one of us.
That's a question that every one of us should be asking.
Every one of us versus every one of us. Every one of us. Every one of us.
That's a question that every one of us should be asking themselves.
And again, we're pointing out what we mentioned a little earlier, that again, you want to use ourselves, not themselves. Okay. Thanks again for bringing that up. You can even go lower in pitch at the end. Every one of us should be asking ourselves. You get ourselves. Do you hear how much lower I'm going to ourselves? Just lower pitch on selves. Just to add more contrast.
So what is the purpose of having all that money if you don't have the time to spend it? That's a question that every one of us should be asking themselves.
I like your stress on that's a question that every one of us. Okay. Just going, that should actually be separate too. Like every space one of us, just to note. Every one of us should be asking themselves. So I think the big thing is identify a couple of vowels to look at, but the big thing is just pitch range. If I were reading this, see if you can match my pitches. So what is the purpose of having all that money if you don't have time to spend it? So what's the purpose of having all that money if you don't have time to spend it? That's a question that every one of us should be asking ourselves. That's a question that every one of us should be asking ourselves. Okay, so that's just giving an example of how you can use pitch a little bit more to your advantage, sir. Thank you for that file. Appreciate it. Let me know if anything there isn't clear. Got a 4-second file for you.
I'm just popping out quickly. I'll be back in an hour.
Okay. I don't recognize his voice. Welcome to the fold. This is our text. What? Here is our text. Let's take a listen.
I'm just popping out quickly. I'll be back in an hour.
Okay. Again, I think we'll have some similar notes on pitch and things. I do hear some movement, which is good, but I do think we can increase it further as well. I'm going to move myself for a moment and go up here. Oh my gosh, I'm up here. All right, so let's play that again.
I'm just popping out quickly. I'll be back in an hour.
Okay. The first 3 words, I think we need to increase the contrast a little bit to help them really stand out more.
I'm just popping out.
I'm just pop versus I'm just popping out quickly. I'm just popping out quickly.
I'm just popping out quickly.
Popping out quickly. I don't think you need to stress quickly, so I wouldn't stress quickly. So you're stressing out, which is good. So this is a phrasal verb. Phrasal verbs typically you're going to stress the particle or that preposition. So I think you're doing the right choice. I'm just popping out quickly. I'm just popping out quickly. I'm just popping out quickly. I'm just popping out. So notice that if we're doing this as one thought group, then the movement for every syllable is going to be down. I'm just popping out quickly. I'm just popping out quickly. I'm just popping out quickly. I'm just popping out quickly.
I'm just popping out quickly.
The rhythm here is also very I'm just popping out quickly. It's like your consonant sounds are a little heavy and it's starting to sound a little bit choppy. I'm just popping out quickly versus I'm just popping out quickly. So kind of similar to what we did earlier, I would experiment with just doing your vowel sounds. So I just you could use a schwa sound here or even a short I, depending on how you want to pronounce that. It's like I'm gonna use a short I. It's like I ow. I ow. Ow. I'm just popping out. Ow. I'm just popping out. Just trying to open up the vowels and get the consonants a little bit weaker. I'm just popping out quickly. Let's see how you're doing quickly again.
I'm just popping out quickly.
Quickly. Pitch is a little too similar. Try to go lower in pitch on the li. Quickly. I'm just popping out quickly. I'm just popping out quickly. Go lower on the E. So it's not quickly. Quickly. You hear the difference? Try to lower that Lee sound at the end. It might be helpful again to keep the tip of your tongue down. Use more of a dark L. Let's take the second half.
I'll be back in an hour. Quickly, I'll be back in an hour.
Okay, I'll be back in an hour. Okay, I'm gonna start just really quick with hour. See if you get a little more breath through. Feels a little closed off.
Back in an hour.
Hour versus hour. I'll be back in an hour. I'll be back in an hour. Keep saying an hour. In an hour. Just try to repeat that because if you're doing like that's sign that your placement's really high and also sounds like your throat's a little bit too closed off. So we're trying to open up that sound more, get more breath, lower placement. So more hour hour. I'll be back in an hour.
In an hour. Be back in an hour.
In an hour. You can even reduce that and see how weak my end sounds are. And then I'll be back in an hour. It's an in then more in an hour. Just a note. I want to hear that I'll be back.
I'll be back in an hour. Back in an hour. I'll be back in an hour.
I'll be back. I'll be back. I'll be back. I'll be back. You could get a little more ass sound on back since it's big. It could be back. Maybe you are doing that, but your vowel's a little bit too short. So just also make sure you're holding your vowel long enough. I'll be back. I'll be back. I'll be back. You can also go higher in pitch if you want. I'll be back. Then your second thought group in an hour. I'll be back in an hour. I'll be back in an hour. Because just paying attention to the thought groups there. So that whole sentence, if I were saying it, I'm just popping out quickly. I'm just popping out quickly. I'll be back in an hour. Notice that's I'll be back in an hour part is a lot lower. I'm just popping out quickly. I'll be back in an hour. I'm just popping out quickly. I'll be back in an hour. So just kind of playing around with the pitches there. I'll be back. I'll be back.
I'll be back in an hour. I'll be back in an
Yeah, it really sounds to me saying, I'll be back. I'll be back. Your B and your K sound are also really strong. One way you can test yourself is just say back like 3 or 4 times, like back, 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 back. Notice that for mine, you really hear that back, back, back. If your vowel's not strong enough, what's going to happen? You're going to get bick, 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 bick. You know, you hear the B and you hear the K, but you don't hear the vowel very long. So making sure that you're holding your vowel long enough. I'll be back in an hour.
I'll be back in an hour.
Okay, just some notes there. Thank you so much for sending that file. We appreciate you. Okay. Take a look at our document. Oh my gosh, we cruised today. I see one last file. Okay, there is still time. So this is our Google Doc. Still time to send in a pronunciation file if that sounds like something that would interest you. This is our document. You can find a video description where you can send in audios. Maybe you're watching us in the replay, or maybe you're watching us and you're scared. You're a little nervous. That's okay. I'm not going to hurt you. But if you're still not convinced, what you can do is save this link. Take this link, save it, bookmark it, email it to yourself, put it on your socials or something, because we check this document. It's the same document we use every single Saturday. I usually clear it out on Friday, Thursday or Friday. So you can put in your audio file then. And then for the next stream, we'll be able to hear you and give you some suggestions. Okay, so definitely something to consider for that in the future. In the meantime, let us take a look at this file. Someone is on TV. TV. I like the repetition, the energy there. That's great. Let's see what you're actually doing. This is Bobby. Oh, did I just change it? Why did that happen? What the flip? Oh no, did we lose it? Bobby, I don't have an actual link there. Bobby, if you're watching, give you a minute. But this is just going to take me to vocaroo.com. Man. Yeah, just going to record myself. I don't want to record myself. I want to listen to you. All right, Bobby, if you're here, please respond in chat. I'll be here for another minute or so. While we're waiting for Bobby, again, just gentle reminders. If you guys are getting any value of this whatsoever, you want to get pronunciation feedback like this for yourself, but you don't just want like a minute. You just want 1 minute of pronunciation feedback with me on a Saturday? That's all you want? Okay. If you do happen to want more, the big thing I would recommend is our Mission English program, which you can go to fluentamerican.com/Mission English, where we do the work that we do today, but we do it for like a half hour sessions twice a day, Monday through Friday. This is our schedule, spread out across different time zones. So we're trying to hit people, in Europe. We're trying to hit people in North America. We're trying to hit people in Asia, all around the world. On Mondays, we meet at 1:30 p.m. We meet at 8 p.m. On Tuesdays, we meet at 9:30 a.m., 1:30 p.m. New York. Wednesdays, we meet at 9:30 a.m. and 8 p.m. Thursdays, we have a conversation class. Just get to chill and chat. And then we meet again at 8 p.m. And on Fridays, we meet at 9:30 a.m. in the morning. And again, 1:30. And then we've also added in some writing sessions as well. So if you're trying to get some corrections for your emails, maybe you're preparing a presentation or a speech, if you're trying to work on an IELTS essay or a report, all those things are fair game. I have experience working with IELTS. I was the writing examiner, the speaking examiner. So it'd be great to see your writing in those sessions. All right, going to do one last look for Bobby. Yay, Bobby's here. Bobby fixed it. That's what's up. How do we... Thank you, Bobby. Appreciate you. Love second file. Let's see what we got here.
On TV? TV! They are so busted.
What is this taken from? I have so many questions. Okay, well, let's take a look at this. Cool. Thank you, Bobby, for getting this in. Good on Bobby. You're doing the work. What's up? All right, let's take a listen to this.
On TV?
One thing I'm going to tell you there for your V sound, your V is very tense and high in placement. V, TV versus TV. TV. You hear the difference between V and V? The big thing there is breath. I'm getting a lot more resonance because I'm using my diaphragm more. Okay, so try to get more airflow through. Hello to Luis. Thank you for checking this out. Feel free to send us a file. There's still a little bit of time left. If you look at video description, you can see a link to a Google Doc where you can do that. Okay.
On TV?
TV? E. Like if you hold that E sound, TV, what's going to happen is you're going to feel a lot of vibration in your head, like V, like it's really high, versus on TV. You hear that difference between V and V. It's like trying to get the placement just slightly lower and also trying to get more airflow through to get more breath. Okay, it's right now. On TV. On TV.
On TV? TV!
I'm a little bit confused by the. I appreciate the pitch range. The pitch range is great. It's super high. That's good. A lot of people struggle to get to the higher pitches. So good job on that. I have no context for this quote, so I don't know why. Like, is this other people talking? I'm guessing it's saying TV than the first person.
TV!
TV.
They are so...
TV. I wonder if it's supposed to go lower in pitch or not at the end. But besides that, good job with the pitch. I think that was good. Oh, because this is now I know. Roberto, I wasn't putting together Bobby. Now it all makes sense. This is from Phineas and Ferb, which is a cartoon. This is from that episode Roberto's in our Mission English class. This is from something we're looking at. Oh my gosh. It's like a light just went off and like I understand everything now. Okay. Cool. Sorry. That's on me. It's been a long morning. Okay. With that in mind.
On TV? TV!
I don't remember the exact. I know. I remember we looked at it, but I forget exactly how she said it. I'm gonna have to focus on the last part. I think from what I remember in the episode when they said busted, there was that waiver. Busted. Like busted. They're so busted. Or something like that.
They are so busted.
Yeah, I would definitely go back to the original audio to see if is that how the busted was done. I do like your dragon on so.
TV. They are so.
So yeah, I like that movement. Good. I would also go back, listen to the contraction. Did they say they? Does she say they are? Or does she say there? Does she use the contraction?
They are so.
There versus there. Okay. I'm thinking it's from there. I think it is there. I'm guessing they use the contraction. Edward does ask us the important question. Where is this taken from? It's taken from a cartoon called Phineas and Ferb. It's actually a pretty good cartoon. It has its funny moments. I think it's on Disney. Phineas and Ferb. They're so like again. I think there was a quiver there when she like there was some vibrato a little bit with her voice. I'm not quite hearing that, although I do like the pitch change you're doing.
They are so busted.
So busted. Like, and I also want to, I don't remember, but I want to say that for busted, the end was a lower pitch, like busted, like busted. They're so busted, busted. They're so busted, or like things like that. So notice that the id sound is going lower in pitch. Id. It's like so busted, like so busted. They are so busted. Like so, just trying to get a little bit more of that vibrato. And then I'm busted trying to go a little lower on the it at the end. Busted. If I remember correctly. Thank you for reminding me of some things. Yeah. But I do like the movement in so I do like the what you're doing with pitch. Again, the other thing I would just say, they your they sounds a little bit tense and high in placement again, right? Like they a versus a. Careful not to confuse this with the Portuguese a sound. Yeah, they
TV.
there versus there again. A little more breath comes through. Try to feel the diaphragm. And Roberto makes a note. The ED is very low, but it's too low. Got you. Okay, so if that's the case, that low id sound, some things to kind of consider for that part, like busted. So again, let's just do some real quick breathing exercise. I encourage you guys to do these with me because our goal is to try to get more air through. Just take a big breath in for a moment, and then exhale. Do that one more time. As you do that, put your hands on your stomach. Try to feel your stomach contracting. So again, and then contract. Okay. Next, what I'd like you to do, I want you to take a big breath in, and I want you to exhale with like a shh sound, like you need someone to be quiet. Just gonna take a big breath in, and then again, as you do that, again, I want you to try to make sure you're feeling your diaphragm contract. Try to feel your stomach moving in. That's a sign that you're using your diaphragm. Okay. So now let's take a big breath in. We're going to say busted. We're going to drag that out, and we're going to try to feel our diaphragm contracted. Okay. It's like busted. Okay. You can even do that a couple times. So breathe in. Busted. The key thing is to constantly have the air moving through. Don't ever pause yourself or stop. Just keep the air flowing the entire time. And the goal is try to get that lower position. Okay. Other ways you can try to get to that lower id sound at the end. Busted. Do you hear how low I am on the id? Busted. Just low pitch on the id. Another thing you could do is like take like an I sound, take id, and then just drag it down like this, like id. Again, one more time. Id. of drag that sound down, right? Busted, busted. Another thing you can kind of do to test your limits of your pitch and also to practice expanding your pitch range is try doing some scales, like go down 5 times, like id, 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 id. Then see if you can go even lower 5 more times. Id, 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 id. Then can you take that back up? It's like id, 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 id. So that's just to kind of practice your range there. Then try to connect everything. It's like id, 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 id. You can also do that in the opposite direction too, right? You can go up like id, 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 id. It's like just kind of practicing those pitch scales and things like that to expand the range. I think will be very helpful. All right, taking one last note, one last glance at our document. Guys, I don't see any more files. So I'm going to go take a break. Time to eat some lunch and things like that. Thank you guys so much for spending part of your Saturday here with me at the Schwa Mill. Look, I get it. With American English pronunciation, there are millions of resources out there. So the fact that you chose to spend a little bit of time with us on a Saturday, no less, we greatly appreciate it. We would love to work with you in our program. So, for instance, our best value is definitely our Mission English program, where we work together every single day of the week. We would love to have you in our small group setting. I do see Finn's trying to sneak in some questions. I see what you're doing, Finn. See what you're doing. It's possible to pronounce always as always. Oh, always, always, always. You know, a dark, it has a similar sound to an aw sound. So I think, in the right context, you can get away with that. Always, always. Okay. Yeah, already. I think the key thing is also watching out for stress and things like that. Yes, like always, already. Because in general, when you see the letters A-L, it makes an aw sound. So if you see that, for instance, like in talk or wah, those are some other examples where A-L makes that aw sound. Just to note. Cool. I think that's everything. You guys, thank you so much again for being with me. Greatly appreciate it. We will see you later. You guys have a good day. Have a good night. Good afternoon.